We're going to jump right into it. Welcome to another episode of the Bladeology podcast. We're here with a couple different people today. We're gonna talk to Julian Klein about his awesome balisongs, knives, and other goodness and lessons from life. I'm Jeremiah Burbank from PVK Vegas.
Nick Trooperin of NCC Knives.
And Elijah Isham from Isham Blade Works.
And Julian Klein of JK Design.
Awesome. All right, so we're crunching down. It's getting close to Blade, so generally everybody's working on a bunch of stuff. Let's go around real quick and get a catch up. Elijah, what are you working on for Blade?
Working on something a little secret. Not gonna be really for Blade, but been doing a lot of CAD work on the Celestial. It's the next Odyssey series design, so that's been taking up most of my CAD work time lately, just working on that one design, because it's a weird construction, so it's going to take a lot of like R&D and engineering to get right. So sadly that won't be at Blade Show, but that's been what I've been working on for the past couple weeks. It's like it's actually going to be pretty big. It's like a 4.5 inch kind of recurve harpoon, but it's weird. The construction on it's gonna be strange. So
A recurve harpoon.
yeah.
Huh. All right.
Look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably put some sneak peeks on Instagram, maybe? Question mark.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's already been one, but that was early in the going.
Oh, okay.
I'll have some awesome teasers up pretty soon.
Still more to develop.
Oh yeah. This thing is gonna take a while.
All right. Nick, what about you? What's cracking over there?
Knives.
NAFs.
You don't say.
No, for Blade Show, some fancy knives, some balisongs, and small 2-inch folders. That's about it, I guess. That's what I'm working on essentially now, plus the balisong.
Okay.
Right now, as we speak, I am working on some MK1 RCs and imps, and then hopefully in about 2 weeks I'll be on the balisongs. And probably for Blade Show I'll have to make some blades, I guess, because Rob Carter will be back here right after Blade, so I gotta make some blades for that collab.
The captain.
All right. That sounds good. I'm liking that. Some more collabs in the pipe and some balisongs to be seen.
Mm-hmm. So what's up with you, Julian? What you doing?
Well, yeah, I have a lot going on right now. It just so happened that a lot of things got put on the shelf right around Blade Show, so kind of worried about it, but just trying to muscle through it. And I ran my machine till like 3 a.m. last night, and like just trying to get ahead of it. So, yeah, I'm gonna do. Are you guys familiar with Brian Efros?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have like a little fixed blade collab I'm doing with him that we're gonna take a little batch to Blade.
Nice.
Yeah,
That'd be
we
cool.
have this booth. We got like a mega booth with a few other guys like Nick Swan, Ryan Schwartz, and Crafty.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, but like there's some weird rules about it. They don't really let it, but then they do let it. It's odd.
I didn't have anything to do with it. I just got in at the right time. Like these guys do it every year, I guess. So
That's the way to do it. Just sneak in there, get it done.
yeah.
Mega booth.
Yeah,
Mega
exactly.
tables, yeah. Not quite a booth, but not quite a table.
And then sublet those tables off.
Yeah. There's like guys that are like, oh yeah, I'll come by and throw something on the table. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not?
It's a 30% fee.
Yeah.
It's a co-op table, so the house keeps a certain percent, and then divvy up the sales, etc., etc.
Yeah, man. Like just collaborating with people and having a good time. I don't know. Just we're really trying to crank out a bunch of knives since we're gonna have the big booth, and there's the Bally comp, so I'm trying to get a fair amount of this new Bally over there that I'm working on. So should be good. Should be a lot of fun.
That sounds like a blast. Now, is this what Blade Show is this for you? How many years have you been?
I've never been to the Georgia one. Only I just did
Wow. Okay.
my first show is the Blade West, just
Okay.
the recent one. So
Be
yeah,
prepared for a lot of knives.
Yeah, it's gonna get crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty overwhelming. Like everybody asks me, like, "Oh, what can you expect from Blade Show?" Well, one word: overwhelming.
Yeah.
yeah, man. I'm gonna try to take it easy on the first day and try to not drink too much or anything like that.
There you
That's
go.
what you say now.
Yeah.
That's not what you're gonna
It's
say
be an
Thursday.
inevitability.
I hope you go to the show still after 8 years just because of Thursday, like the day before the show.
Yeah, damn. It's gonna be rough, but it should be fun.
No,
Yeah.
it'll be totally worth it. So
Oh, yeah.
let's break into it. Let's start from the beginning. Tell us your story. Where did you where did you start and how did we get to where you are now?
Well, yeah, ever since I was a kid, I was always into building stuff, you know. I kind of like I entered a science fair and I just built something instead of doing anything scientific. I just made this big old like sculpture thing. So I've always, yeah. So
It's the
just
same
like
thing.
always just been into building crap, and then I got myself into school at SF State, in a industrial design program they had, and so I learned like some of the CAD stuff. We were working SolidWorks at that time, and now you know SolidWorks is kind of not the main go-to anymore. So I learned all that, and so I'm trying to learn the newer programs and making it work. But yeah, so I went to school, learned a lot of stuff about like design process and product design and that type of stuff. And it was like somewhat boring, so I started just making little bottle openers, you know, Jeremiah, like the King's Fists and the
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So I was just like, you know, getting water jet parts cut out and stuff. And yeah, it was a good time. I met a lot of people and sort of, you know, made the Instagram thing start happening. And so yeah, going to Blade West was really cool. Just finally meeting all those people that, you know, have sort of supported me, or some of the people, you know, people that have supported me to get to this next step. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like knife shows are a very, very integral part of our, I hesitate to say it, but our culture or our industry in the knife world. It's very, very good to get out to shows and put a face with a name and see people hold your stuff, you know, like grab the stuff that you made and mess with it and give you feedback.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, more history, I guess.
So
How'd you decide to buy a house? Because you go from mortgage parts and eventually, everyone has the story when they went from nothing to a house or whatever.
Right. So yeah, that's get me back on track. Yeah, so I was doing the water jet stuff. I had this guy in where was it? Alameda, that I would go across the bay like once a week and just have him make me all this stuff, and it was just crazy. I was like commuting across the Bay Bridge and just I don't know. I remember I spent like 20 grand in a year on water jet crap.
Oh wow.
So I was like, this is not, you know, it's not that smart. This guy's taking all my money, so
I think this guy was raping you on pricing, and I do a good amount of water jetting, and that's not even my bill.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, and then that was the thought in my mind too, is this guy like, you know, jerking me around. So, but I don't know. I feel like he was kind of on point because earlier in the story, I started going to Tech Shop. You guys know about Tech Shop?
It's like a makerspace, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I learned how to use the water jet there, and then it just became like I crashed it a couple times, and it became just too expensive, and I don't know. I didn't really want to mess with it, so I started outsourcing that stuff. But Yeah, so that led me to like, yo, you need to save and buy a machine. So that's what I did.
Nice. So now, did the bottle openers, did that sort of, you saved up from that, or you just sort of, you're saving, you're working part-time at this point um and doing everything EDC on the side?
Yeah, I didn't have a job. I never really had a job. I worked like a couple of crappy jobs when I was younger, but I was more into like buying and selling cars and stuff like that. So then I got into the bottle opener as well in college, and that's where I just started pumping those out and saving, and that's how I saved for the machine.
Nice.
So I was, yeah, really happy I could make it work. Yeah, all the people are to thank, really, all the customers that supported the little bottle opener thing. So
It's for those of you who are not familiar with this bottle opener, go take a look. It's actually it's a really neat piece. It has like sort of like a core chassis with two plates that go over the top, so it allows for multiple different materials to be used and a lot of different styles. It's really, it's the first time I saw it, I was like, that's pretty innovative. I dig it. It's very cool.
thanks, man. Yeah,
And what machine did you end up getting?
I just got a mini mill from Haas, just their basic one. 10 tool changer, and
That's exactly what I run. I like got the most basic mini mill.
yeah,
I really want a VF2 right now. The 10 tools are killing me now. Like, 'cause I have a specific setup in mind right now, but I need 16 tools to do it, and like 4 more inches in my Y.
oh my God, yeah, it's horrible, right? And like, I don't know, all now that I know how to machine, it's like you need to do all the finishing passes and all that stuff, so it just doubles your tool count. And
Well, there's that. Yeah, you got to improvise. Like all my fixtures are stepped, so like I'm using like the all like on my like most of my tools, I'm using the entire length of the end mill. So I'm like the bottom part is for roughing it, and then I'll step down the thickness of the part, and then finish it with that part.
oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that works, but then it doesn't work for like pockets, obviously, because you're
Yeah,
still using that. You can use for at least for profiles, it works if you step your fixtures.
Yeah, I'm
But
doing this channel, like a channel balisong, and it's like I need to take like multiple passes to get down into the channel. It's kind of rough, but yeah,
yeah,
Elijah.
pinsless.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's Dennis.
I was just
We
gonna,
gotta get
I had
into
to
that
throw
at some
I had
point.
to throw that in.
before we get into that, I was just gonna say, Elijah, like all the designs that you make,
Yeah,
the stuff that we is doing, or any of those people or any of those companies, it's like it's amazing the machining they can do. Like, can't.
it's pretty incredible what they're capable of. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah, they have good engineers. I always tell Elijah, I'm like, if the Chinese people weren't around, the American companies would not want to tackle this.
No, it would not, because like there's no way they can make money. But
Yeah, I don't know how they're making any money. It's crazy. It's like, geez.
yeah.
Just nailing
Yes.
it.
So, talk about some balisongs. When did you start getting into like heavy into balisongs?
Yeah, I made my first one like a year and a half ago now, I think, about.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I used to be like a pretty hardcore skateboarder.
Same here. Yep.
Nice. Yeah, I had like some sponsors and stuff, and like I ended
wow.
up just breaking my body and screwing up my feet. So
Elijah's like, not same here.
Yeah, I got out of it before I could break anything. So,
I was talking about the sponsors, but okay.
you're probably the smart one of us.
I
huh?
skateboarded for like 6 months and I broke something, so
really.
that just comes with the territory. Yeah.
Yeah, I never got sponsors. So,
Yeah, but either way, like I got out of that and sort of I needed something like trick oriented, you know? So
yeah.
the balisongs kind of took that spot. So yeah, it's been cool. Yeah, I love making them. I guess there's less balisong makers than there's folder makers, so
Oh yeah,
True.
for sure. Yep.
the
Way less.
market's kind of nice, and yeah, it's been good. Been loving the community. The balisong community is like made up of younger, sort of a younger group. So sometimes it gets a little frustrating, but overall it's been good.
Yeah, it's been my experience with it. Was the community is very different. Dealing with a lot of younger clients, and
Yeah.
then it makes me feel like I'm making toys because I'm dealing with the younger clients, and they look at things a lot differently.
Yeah, you see, and I haven't really dealt with the folder crowd that much yet, and I do notice that.
It's way easier. It's older people, they're more professional, they're more easygoing.
Yeah.
Like I have more
Custom
issues with
folder,
clients selling
for
$100 product opposed to $1,000 product. Like $1,000 product, the clients are like very laid back and easy. They'll wait, and then like a $100 product, like a client would, like if it's a day late or something like that, like they lose their mind.
Oh, right.
Because they look at,
Yeah,
when you sell a $100 product, they look at you like you're a company. And there's workers and there's people behind the name. But when you look at like $1,000 product, it's a bespoke product. Like there's this one man is making this thing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, people's
That's
mentality and like the so-called budget-oriented production knives is like completely different than something like like $1,000 custom, and then the balisong crowd is like completely different from that.
Yeah. It's really a trip.
Yeah, it slightly discouraged me actually from making balisongs for that exact reason. But then I decided, hopefully, if I stick to just custom balisongs and my custom pricing and not go production wise with it, I could avoid some of that. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I feel like no matter what,
keep pestering you for it like all the time.
Yeah,
I get it.
I'll just give it all to Jeremiah and have him deal with them.
That's fine.
Here you go.
Jeremiah's buying them up, man. I'll tell you.
I'm game, dude.
He's like
I'm
the only
ready.
guy there.
Dude, I had 2 years of Jeremiah pestering me to make balisongs. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And then like eventually I just caved in.
Yeah,
Gotta do it.
Yeah, I
You
think
finally got me to design one too, so.
Yeah. Jeremiah, you're gonna buy some of the gigas. I don't know how you really pronounce it, but
He's pressuring you into buying stuff on air so you can't back out of it later.
no, the guy already
It's
told me.
strategy.
The guy told me that you were gonna grab some, and I'm like machining these for him. So it's
no, that I talked to that guy for a bit on IG. I was like, whoa, this is super neat. Somehow it like just flew over my radar for a second, and then I caught it, and I was like, oh wait, like I know where these are coming from. I know what's going, and like it took me a second, but no, those look awesome. They're very different. They're cool.
Yeah, they look different for sure. They flip really good, which is I guess the main thing.
I'm on your page. What's a gigas? Is that the Monarch? Is the channel?
Yeah, it's not mine. It's a buddy's.
Joseph?
No, that's my buddy that I'm doing this collaboration with. Yeah, he's a real great guy. We should talk about him too. But yeah, this other guy with the gigas, he's just a guy that I'm doing the job for, really. So
yeah, like job shop work, but it kind of makes sense because it's in your workflow right now, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it helps me like learn what I'm doing, and yeah, it's a good.
Yeah. So how did you So you got into balisongs, and then first you were making the sandwich, and then you're making the channels. So what was the impetus to jump into that? You just decided that's the next logical step when making balisongs, or you wanted the challenge?
Well, yeah, I guess I started learning about these 3D tool paths and things, so like we can get into the whole pins list thing.
Yeah, pins. Let's
Pins.
We'll get there.
Pinless. Let's just say pinless, just so that everybody knows it's pinless. Like normal.
Yeah, I didn't understand that as either for plurality reasons. I'm like, what? It's enough for the goddamn English language.
Oh my god, yeah. So yeah, that whole thing was funny, but I forgot where I was going, but yeah, the Monarch, it's
you learn 3D toolpaths.
I learned 3D toolpaths, and I can sort of figure out how to do like with the pinless thing, there's blade stops that are milled into the inside of the channel. So I was able to sort of emulate the curve of the blade and figure that out. So not only did I know how to do it, but it's kind of the new thing, the channel balisong. It's like built to just be flipped and dropped and thrown across the street and then just flipped some more. And so yeah, I have a buddy who has been a collector for years. That's the Joseph Hansen that you mentioned on my Instagram.
Oh yeah.
So sorry, I got someone coming in.
Hi. Hello.
Don't worry, we can edit stuff.
I'm just recording this podcast, so I'll just like all right, thanks. So yeah, so he was a collector and we became friends. I moved to Colorado and he was living here, so we started hanging out, and he flips really well, and he knows a lot about the history of, the modern history of the balisongs. So yeah, we just have a good time together, and I figured, let's make a collaboration and we can design it together to flip really well, to take a huge beating, to look cool. I've always been into like aesthetics and stuff, so just trying to mesh his ideas with mine and me learning the machine all at the same time. So it kind of became this really cool jumble of stuff. And yeah, we got the Monarch out of it, and people are going crazy about the Monarch. So
The blade
Monarch
shape
is
on
the
that thing
channeled
is
one, right?
wicked.
yeah, that's the channel one. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, the blade shape on that is like unlike any other Bally, really.
Yeah,
I want to talk about the pinless thing for like a moment. Like, the problem is, look, the
Let
Let
balance.
him. Okay, hold on.
What?
First of all, so we have sandwich construction, we have channel construction, and we have pinless, which is essentially channel construction.
With no pins.
But it has no pin. So you got to lead up into in the pinless issue. So Nick, you got to give people a reference of where that came from.
We mentioned it.
If you're not in
I
the
wasn't
Bally,
going
you're
to
not
talk about
gonna
the issue. I was going to talk about the concept itself. Where
Okay.
it's like I'm coming as a knife
All right,
maker from it. I'm like,
all right.
if you just look at like an integral folder, that's how they built them. Is it just you use it's there, so you use that as a stop.
right.
Like it wasn't when the guy made it. He's like, this is a whole revolutionary thing, and like it's not. It's a standard practice in the industry when you make a knife out of a channel.
Yeah, there was one from 1920 that was made by, K-Bar. So, and there's some old ones from Germany and France that are.
So it's been around for a while.
This channel.
He's trying to coin names for everything he thinks he came up with. Like he had 3 other names for like weird things, and I'm like, you didn't even make any of this.
Who are we talking about? Who are we talking about?
Are we supposed
Let's
to
not
mention
even.
that?
Let's not even go there. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No free ad spots.
Everyone, anyway.
Everybody knows anyway.
Yeah, no, it's just whenever you start putting like coining phrases and names saying you covered it, and then that's one thing to do that, which is also a dickhead move. But when someone like Julian does it, and a guy comments on there, well, I really appreciate if you start using my hashtag when you do that. I'm like, you didn't invent anything here.
Yeah, and it's
Right.
not English.
Yeah,
It's not,
clearly they've been around for a long time. So
yeah. And I can't use improper grammar. So.
Yeah, right. That's not in my wheelhouse. Sorry.
Yeah,
dude.
it was not even. I'm like, if you're doing this, but it's plural. It's like it's not plural if it's not English.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was a good time, all in all. A lot of memes came out of that, so just try to keep those on the down low for sure.
Anything that generates memes, might be for the better or for the worse, but still it's funny in the end.
yeah, that's the whole goal is to get a meme out of it.
It's all about having a good time, right?
Oh yeah.
So in a traditional sandwich style construction bally song, you've got your tang pins, and in a Zen pin style, you've got the pins in the handle. So then just for the listeners who don't know, give us a rundown of a pin list. So how does that work?
Yeah, so pinless. So you said sandwich construction. There's like either the tang pins, which are pins in the blade, or Zen pins, which Zen pins were like a thing for a while, but they had a lot of them would show screws visible from the top of the handles. Then they sort of did the hidden Zen pins, which is just a bore on the underside of the scales, not completely through the slabs. So then there was the channel, which had like pins in it as well. So a channel with just a milled out area where you can put pins through, yeah, pin lists is just building up titanium in place of the pins. So there's two different stops. You have the stop that goes on like the crown of the blade. I don't know what you'd call it, but like sort of the part that protrudes from the top of the handles in the closed position.
Okay.
And that like flips around, and yeah, that's a really vital area because if you don't do it right, the handles will touch in the open or closed position, or in the open position. They'll touch together if it's not like sort of domed. Shit, maybe we shouldn't be telling the secret. Delete all that. But yeah,
I'd like to see someone trying to go design one now.
Yeah, that's
Not as easy as it sounds.
True.
Give me a week. I got you.
Yeah. And then like
I got too much other shit to do.
I bet you could do it, Nick.
Oh, I've done that. I've designed integrals, and the integral folders I've designed work in that system too. It's just the top of the slot. You just orientate it to match the profile of the blade, open and close.
Wow.
So it doesn't have to be integrals, but like the Strider was built like that on the close position. It'll touch essentially what would be in the folder the backspacer. I guess on the channel handle, you're calling it the spine of the handle. I'm not exactly sure what the term there.
Yeah.
But on the integral, when we refer to the integral not having pins and it hitting the handle, we refer to it as hitting the backspacer, or what would be the backspacer.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, a lot of frame law. That's what I'm saying. When he did that, I'm like, it's a pretty standard practice in the folder industry with the integrals.
Oh, really?
They'll contact the same way.
Yeah.
No, it's not the only way. You could do an external pin. You could do a press fit pin. The nice way about doing it that way is you don't have to worry about steel and affecting you when you're andizing. Like you see Peter Rosenti, his integrals, his new ones, he has a big thumb stud, and that thumb stud is his stop, so he doesn't have titanium. Right. I mean steel inside of his titanium to cause to affect andizing. The one that I have designed, it's actually with a pin, but then the pin is encapsulated and you can never get it out again. Some work is involved in that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have no idea.
Yeah, it was a standard thing in the folder industry. Guys would do that too, even if it's not an integral. With the backspacer, guys that have a full length backspacer, some of the stop positions might be on the backspacer. It was it was a standard thing. So even before he started, like that guy was talking to you about it when he first released it. I think Jeremiah showed it to me like months prior, and I'm like, it's nothing interesting.
That's really interesting. I had no idea. So like,
at the folder stem, like I've seen it done on folder, so I'm like, whatever. Like that's a standard thing.
Well, if you look at any slip joint, it all comes over from that, and every slip joint's made like that with the spring bar.
Yeah, it's exactly it. Where's the slip joint with the blade with the spring on the slip joint?
Yeah, that's true. Dang, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, because you're looking at balisongs, you're just getting to the folders, and I look at it the other way around. So I'm like, it's been done.
Right. So like all those Dalibird integrals are they like that, or does he put pins in his integrals?
He puts a pin, from what I remember right. Yeah, but now I could be wrong, but I think I remember seeing a pin in his, unless he has some models with a thumb stud. But even then, a lot of times when guys add a pin, the pin might be just for the close position, but the open position is still the spine, or vice versa.
Right. I think his new one, Dalibor just did a new one, like a real thin folder, and it's exactly like that.
Yeah, if you add a pin, it might be just for one of the positions, sometimes both, but there's many ways to do it. But they contact lots of times, because as you see, if a balisong could withstand the titanium being smacked against the steel, a folder definitely can.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's
good point.
So
yeah, we're getting super technical and probably pretty boring here now.
No, this is what people want to hear.
Really? Okay, cool.
Now, are you side cutting your channel or vertically? Because like I've done both, and side cutting is definitely the way to go. It just costs a lot of money. Like I have a cutter here from when I was just prototyping it, but it's pretty expensive. So I don't know how long it'll last.
You mean like a disc or something that goes in there?
Yeah, like I tried it with a slot mill, and it works great, and it's pretty fast, and you don't need you delete a setup. but it is expensive. I don't have any. I've only done it twice, so I've been done any testing to see how long it lasts. Because it was like $400 for the cutter.
Are you talking about a horizontal mill, Nick?
No, I'm using something that looks like a Dremel cutoff disc, but a 4-inch one that's
Okay,
3/16 thick in my mill. Whenever you use that thing, it sounds like shit's about to go down.
Like I've seen people do horizontal mill cut integrals, and I'm sure it'd work great on Bally's.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can see that.
yeah. I just
It's like set up for it. Yeah.
I just come in with like a 3/16, flat end mill and just hog it out.
Yeah, vertically.
Yeah.
I've done that too on I haven't done that on a channel Bally, but I've done it on a folder. Doing that method works. The only problem is because it's such a long length to cut. Like at some parts, you're using like an extra long 3/16 end mill.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're down there almost an inch. You start getting a shitty sidewall finish because of the vibration and deflection.
All the deflection, yeah.
Yeah, I guess on the channel it's not as persistent because it's not as deep.
I was just dealing with that today actually, and so I was just trying to dial in my finishing pass. So I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's been a while since I tried the Integra. I was just trying to see what it'll take. I did it out of aluminum. I think I cut it as a slot, but then my slot's 190, so then I take a down and a half pass on left and right to clean it up after.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's not just the one cut.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it gets kind of confusing, but it's fun stuff.
I mean, that's the beauty of doing it and changing up projects, right? Learning as you're going.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I look at like my first balisong model and it's just so tough to make now, and I don't know, it's just like I've learned a ton on that, so
now as a maker, how do you work with orders? How do you work with customers? Do you take orders? Do you not take orders? You kind of build what you want? I see you build a lot and they're numbered, so I figure you're kind of building as you're going. But I know that you're moving into the folder market. So are you opening your books during Blade Show, or are you just sort of just building?
I'm just building for now. I have like yeah, sometimes if it's like a particular time where I need some cash, I might like just sell something to someone that I am really close to or something like that, which is, I don't know, I guess sometimes people get mad at it, but
It's a common thing. At the end of the day, it's a business. You have bills to pay.
yeah, and like some people are just so tough to deal with and some people are so easy to deal with, and it's just sort of a natural thing. But for the most part, I've been doing I got this idea actually from the Grimsmo guys, doing like the ongoing Maker's Choice lottery type of thing. So I just have like a sign up sheet on my website, and then anytime I finish something, I just pick a name from the pot. So
yeah, but that's extra work. Just make it put up for sale.
Yeah. It's good though. It's been working real good because I don't know.
I've done lotteries a couple times, and people start saying like foul play is involved. Like even auctions, I hate auctions because like my last auction, someone deleted the top bid. Yeah, because someone deleted the top bid, and it's like, oh, like I started getting DMs like, oh, it's foul play involved. Like were you trying to hype it? I was like, no. Someone bid on it, and I had to follow up to the second bid, and the guy's like, oh, I saw someone bid on it. I told him you're not obligated to buy it because the first guy, but. Same thing with lotteries. People always, because it's a back end, it looks like a back end deal, and people start like saying, "Oh, you rigged it" or something.
Yeah, I haven't done too many of those like live lotteries. This is sort of like an ongoing thing where there's like a pot. I have like a pot for each of these knives, and there's like 100 people or 200 people in the pot, and then
that's great.
I just call a name out of the pot on my own time. I don't even show anything about it. So,
yeah, that's the whole reason where I get like starts getting weird after a while with that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it works for now, roll with it, and then that's the adaptation of any system. Is when you feel like it's not working, develop a new system.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep,
it's true.
And you just did you had a run of T-shirts that you did, which I totally spaced out on and didn't get down on. But how did that go? That's a really neat project. Sort of getting that branding out there, expanding into even more markets.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do like t-shirts, and I've been wanting to do beanies for a long time because I always used to wear beanies in San Francisco and stuff. And then over here in Colorado, it's even colder. So, um, I was wanting to do beanies and shirts for a long time and just couldn't figure it out, couldn't devote the time to it. So, I don't know if you guys know about this snail trail screen printing guy. He's pretty popular on Facebook and like the folder community. And it's like, he just opens up this thing for 24 hours. It's like whoever wants a shirt signs up, and then he'll make them after he gets all the orders. So it's kind of a cool thing, and we got a fair amount of orders, and yeah, he did some sweatshirts and shirts. They're pretty nice.
Oh, that's dope. It's always good to see those projects work out well like that, and to see a good response from your collectors and or fans. That's important. Good response.
Definitely.
It's always good to have merch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Like something for the people that don't have a bunch of money to spend on a knife.
Yeah. Still, people still want to support. They want to get that logo. They want to be a part of the action for sure.
Exactly. So, looking
so
for
Blade Show. So all right, so you're building. You're building some collaboration fixed blades. You must be building some monarchs and some ballies. And I've seen you dabbling in the folders. How's that going? You gonna have some of those for Blade Show?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'm trying to bring 15 folders to Blade Show. So.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
I got them all cut out already, and just need to grind blades and get creative and come up, one at a time type of thing. Just make them my baby. So.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that because I just realized I didn't realize your older ones you were hand grinding your blades because I was looking at the Monarch and that's mill bevels.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured out the milled bevels for the Monarch, and even on my folders, I want to do some of those, but for now it's just all hand ground stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of, if I've gotten any notoriety, a lot of it's come from like the hand ground blades that I've done. But
yeah, I get you. That's the same struggle I have because I also grind compound tantos. And like I'm struggling where it's like I have the capability of mill bevels. It'll let me make more knives because then I'm not the bottleneck where I have to grind stuff.
right.
And it's like I'm in the same boat. It's like I built a name with the grinds that I do, and if I switch to mill bevels, essentially I'm doing a whole different thing now.
Right. And grinding's nice. It's like when you get a nice hand ground blade done, it's just so.
It's very rewarding when you're done. Like I hate doing it. Like grinding it's like one of the worst things. I just hate going on the grinder and grinding stuff because like I'm grinding like 10, 12 blades at a time, and it just sucks after. But when they're done, and you're looking at them, like right now, I'm putting the two-tone acid wash finish on some finished ground blades. You look at them, it's like very rewarding once you're done, but it's like the shittiest job when you're actually doing it.
I know. I just hate getting covered with all the metal dust, but it's like only one way to get them done.
Gotta get in there and get dirty.
Exactly, man. Yeah,
dirty cheese.
I just finished this new shower. I just remodeled my shower, so I don't have anything to complain about.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
So I was gonna get to that, but what was your I have a feeling there might have been some cost issues involved, but what was the relocation from the Bay Area to where you are now in Colorado? What was the just personal, just made sense to expand, or that was something you always had in mind?
Yeah, man, it was like all at the same time. It was like I was living at my dad's house in the Bay Area, and I was like working on the bottle openers in his garage, and he like retired and he started having a motorcycle collection and stuff, and so I was grinding all this stuff and it was getting all on his motorcycles. Yeah, so I started feeling bad, and then the water jet guy was charging me so much money, so I sort of made it a goal to like buy a house and then put a machine in it and just like do that. So
Nice.
yeah, that's what I did. I moved to Colorado. I didn't move to like the coolest area or anything. I just moved out to Thornton, which is like north, a little bit north of Denver. So there's not, there's not much to do out here, but I got my own place. I got the machine. I'm just, taking advantage of what I set up for myself.
Oh, that's legit. I see your post on Instagram. It looks beautiful up there. I would imagine the air smells pretty clean.
Yeah, it's pretty damn nice. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I'm struggling with the same thing here because being in New York, imagine the rent in San Francisco is the same amount.
Yeah, God.
It's not hard.
Finding a shop like you heard in the beginning before I started what I pay for tolls just to get to my shop every day.
Oh my God, man.
It's like the same thing. I kind of want to own something and work from home because I'm pretty always at the shop. So like the goal is to eventually work from home.
Yeah. Wait, like, is there places that are affordable in New York, like upstate or something?
Yeah, but I'm in New York City, so like upstate New York and New York City, it's like night and day. It's like if I'm already leaving New York City, you could just go somewhere that's not New York.
Different reality.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, it ends up being like Pennsylvania or something like that. Upstate New York is not the city. Like Brooklyn, New York is to it. It's like San Francisco, except
Right.
way more houses, I guess, and no shit in the streets.
Dude,
Yeah, like literally.
I'm in Colorado, man. It's freaking nice over here.
There we go.
I'm on the
It's
betting.
pretty cold though, right?
Yeah, it's kind of cold. It's warming up. I don't know. Do you have any other places in mind?
Vegas, Texas.
Yeah.
I told myself
Yeah,
if
pretty much anywhere.
I just got my first full-time employee like 3 weeks ago, and if I end the year with at least one full-time employee still on, I'll stay in New York.
One
If I'm
employee
still
just happens
working
to be your dad.
It doesn't matter. It's still
Technically,
full-time.
That kind of
Yeah.
matters. That really kind of matters.
No, it doesn't. It could be any employee, even if it's not my dad. Just if I have someone on a full-time payroll, I can afford it. And then I'll
financially.
stay in New York. Yeah, but if I still can't, if I'm still working alone at the end of the year, next year I might leave New York if I'm working alone. But if I have someone with me full time, I'd stay here. It just getting to the point where consistently. So far, it's been a month. The full-time employee, the bills have doubled, but I'm still managing.
Yeah.
Basically, what he's saying is, if I don't move in with him, he's gonna have to move himself.
I'm probably next. If I stay here next year, I'm probably gonna build a second door to my shop and rent out that first section. I got quotes like $1,200 to build a separate door, so
That's not too bad.
I could rent out that. I could rent out that first section for like $800.
Dude, that's what I'm doing over here. I'm like Airbnb-ing my upstairs rooms. Just
That's the way to go, right there.
yeah, it's working out.
Supplemental income, not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I have like 680 square feet that I don't use them of my shop, and it's already sectioned off, but it doesn't have a separate. That's where the entrance is, so I need to make a separate entrance for my section.
You're just
Like
waiting
I
for
said-
Elijah to move in. That's all, dude.
Yeah.
Even if he's moved in, there's plenty of room in my section. Like I use half of my section. Like I have 1,700 square feet. I use like 800 square feet. Not even.
Dang, that's
No,
nice.
800 square feet is my main shop. But like
That's
I use like 600 square feet is where there's
Yeah, you
actually
You
equipment.
don't use that much.
Yeah, like 600 square feet of my 17 is actually equipment. I got my living room, my bedroom, for where like when I'm here for long days or when we're working, the kitchen, and then storage.
It's gonna be
Like,
a
it
very
just-
specific tenant in the other room.
Yeah.
As someone who's
Uh,
done into the machine, like
Someone who doesn't mind noise.
Yeah.
Well, no, if I that's the thing. If I rent it out to someone, this kind of space is not easy to get in New York. Like insanely hard. That's why I'm in Staten Island, not where I live in Brooklyn. So if
Sure.
anyone that
It's
works
like
on
another
cars,
a craftsman.
woodworker,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, like craftsman.
yeah, I see.
I could easily find someone for $800 a month for this place. I
Hmm.
did at one point, then I decided not to rent it out. And I could get like 2 more CNCs and still not need that for a section.
I got
So
you.
I'm
Craftsman
probably
wanted.
Craftsman wanted, dude.
I want to
Must-
get their machine.
casual encounters. What?
There
I
you
want
go.
to get the machine, man. Are you gonna get another machine, Nick?
I almost sold mine like a month and a half ago.
What?
A VF2 popped up for
that's
a
nice.
crazy deal, and like I was able to afford the VF2 itself. Then I was like, okay, now if I get that VF2, I need a $3,000 phase converter. Need to get someone to install it, another $1,000.
Oh
It's
yeah.
gonna it's gonna have to get moved from Florida, another $2,000. I'm gonna need a screw compressor because I could barely run my 60-gallon with the sandblast cabinet and the mill. So that means okay, there's another $4,000 for a compressor. I'm like, well, aside from the mill, I need like another $12,000. So I'm like, okay, that means I have to sell my machine. But my Haas has been running like a tank for 4 years without breaking ever, and it's just like really good, reliable machine. So I decided not to sell it and just have it buy a machine when I'm ready to just buy a machine and keep this one.
Buy it outright.
That's smart, I think. Yeah.
So it's a used. It's 06. So being that old, like Haas's, there's a lot of lemons out there. And I'm assuming that this machine only broke once in that guy, and he fixed what he broke. And I've never broke anything on it. Like it's a good, reliable machine.
Yeah. Best not to fix it if it's doing good.
Yeah. So like if I sold this one and bought that new one, and that one could have been a lemon, right. I would have been in deep shit. So I was like, it's not better off to wait. But it was like $24,000 for a 2004 VF2 that was like same machines were up for sale for like $30,000.
Dang, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good deal. I was like, oh, damn, this is horrible timing.
Yeah, is there like a way to like check the history of a machine like a car?
That's a good question, actually.
You bought a new machine or a used machine?
I bought a new machine.
So mine's used, but like when you should call like your local showroom or whatever, and you register your machine with the location. If that machine's registered with the location, they could look up the machine if it was ever fixed. Now they only know if things you call and they fixed or what parts you ordered for it, but they could look it up by serial number.
Yeah.
Like this machine was used, but it came up with a whole records list because I bought it not directly from a guy, but I bought it from 520 Machinery. So I bought it from a reseller that had it inspected. And they gave me the contact info for their inspector, and I spoke with the inspector guy for like 3 hours on the phone. And it's not because I would want to speak for 3 hours, but like he just kept giving me more and more info. And he's like, oh, if you want to put it on a probe, you could do this, that. I was like, telling me how to do aftermarket mods to it if I bought it, like things that I wanted to do.
Yeah, I guess maybe he gets a cut of it.
Yeah, he's on their payroll. He travels around essentially on the east side and inspecting machines before they buy them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. So it's like used car inspection.
Yeah, like I still have his number. Like if I have any like weird, like if I have like my machine breaks and I want to try to fix something myself, I could still call the guy. Like he told me to call him if I wanted to put a probe on the machine, which I really want to do.
Probe?
Yeah,
you like that probe action going.
But it's expensive for my mill because I have to get Haas to come in because I don't have the proper software. It's I need to update it to the new software.
Huh?
So it's like $8,000
software.
Oh man,
I'm like I paid $22,000 for my machine, so I'm like $8,000's a lot. Like if I buy a used VF2, I'll pay no matter what it costs to get that with a probe.
Yeah,
I saw John use one of those. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, John has them on all his machines. I'm so jealous. Like literally,
set up a Kickstarter for you, Nick. Nick needs a probe.
That's a GoFundMe.
What kind of probe are we talking here?
At this point, to get the render shop probe, I'll do any probe.
Whoa! All right, get it done.
Whoa.
I got a I got a probe with my machine because I heard it would cost a lot more if I got it afterwards. So
yeah, it would have cost. It's an extra like $4,000 for them, like $3,000 for them to come get it done, depending on how close they are to you.
Yeah.
But they're close to me. They're only like 40 minutes away, so they charge me the minimum rate to come to my shop.
This whole time, Julian's rocking a probe, man. Damn, didn't even know.
Yeah, I got a probe. I had to. My buddy, like, I moved over here, and the guy who was installing the machine was like, "Oh yeah, we installed a machine for another knife maker about a year ago. You know so and so." So I like started talking to that guy, and
I kind of want to know who so and so is.
So and so is Nick. Yeah, Nick Swan.
Yeah, I was like, who's the last guy I know who bought a new Haas? I'm like, I think it's Nick.
Yeah, so he helped me out with figuring out a couple things, and so that worked out well. And
that's cool.
He's gonna be in the booth at the show, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, this booth is gonna be intense, dude.
Yeah, man.
You don't have a basic
mega
mini mill, you got a probe.
Damn.
A what?
You don't have a basic mini mill, you got a probe on there.
It's just the basic one with the probe.
No, I have no options. Like I have the flat rate. Like
what is that in car talk? Is that like stage 1 or stage 2? Like what are we talking about here?
That's like
mini mill with the probes.
That's like getting your Honda Element with the heat with and without the heated seats and moonroof.
Hell yeah, dude. Gotta
It's
have
like
that
getting
moon.
a seat to the winner changes your life. It's like having a probe when you're machining like lots of different things at once. It changes your life.
Dude, I don't even feel like a real machinist. Like how do you find like an edge, without
I have many edge finding devices. Let's put it that way, and many indicators.
God, that's rough.
So many indicators.
I get around with it. It works. I have like touch-off gauges and stuff. I do job shop work sometimes, but then like I have like I get away with I don't touch many stuff off. Like G58 is my entire master palette. So like how our we have 12 by 16 travels.
Yeah.
12 by 12 of my travels are this master palette, and then I have a 6-inch vise right next to it for the remainder of my travels. Like I'm maxed out.
Yeah.
So that's what anything that goes in that 12 by 12 is always G58 because it's just touched off when I made that palette. So any palette that I have goes on that palette, and I don't touch my offsets. I just set the Z for the tool.
Oh,
So it has like 118 dowel point. It has like 118. I'm like actually looking at it. It's 118 dowel positions, and then like 200 threader holes. Yeah, It shouldn't have been that many threader holes and dowel positions. I just like, oh, this is infinite. Like limit. Like I was like, oh, I could put 4 different fixtures on here at once, which is nice once in a while because like you're playing Tetris, but like you could throw different fixtures on there at once and do different jobs as long as the tools allow it.
Yeah.
But that's how I get around not having a probe for like quickness, and then the vise is always G57.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Dang.
and I just adjust out my Z with the Heimer.
Thanks, guys. All figured out.
You gotta watch out for those probe positions. Those dowel.
Those dowel and probe positions will get you every time. I'm telling you, man. Doesn't matter what knife you're working on. If that probe hits you sideways, you're in trouble.
And those Haas probes, they come with rear sided cameras.
Holy.
Yeah, dude. It gets down there.
From the rear as well? Goddamn.
I don't even know what the camera does on the probe. Like everyone that has it, I've never seen them use it. It's supposed to sense the part or something.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that.
You just go by eye.
There's a camera like inside the little red jewel part?
No, when you're at John's shop, the camera that's on the back wall of his machine. On the right side. Oh, EOS cases.
Yeah, EOS cases.
Yeah.
John Gray, of course.
You don't your probe doesn't have a camera system on the back of it?
I don't know. Maybe it does.
I figured that the camera in the Haas was just for location, right? Like it must be IR with the probe or something?
That camera in the Haas is part of the probe system. So it's a probe in the spindle, a probe on the table, and a camera in the back.
All right.
It's also for the court footage.
See, like that camera thing, I always just thought it was like an infrared thing that senses where the probe is.
It's a sense where the probe is in relative to the part. But when I was at the Haas open house, they were using the camera to find a fixture on the table, and it'll measure the part, like it measured the fixture for you. Found it and measured it all.
Wow.
Dude, if I have a camera in my machine, I'm gonna go turn it on right now.
Oh, there's I don't know.
I want to see that shit.
Because
it's very similar to a body cam.
You have the new controller, so it'll show it like on your screen. It'll show you the fixture, and then you'll see the fixture there, and you just hit a corner on the screen, and the probe will automatically find that corner.
Yeah.
Like I saw them do it at the open house, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like they literally set up all their tool heights and the XY points in like a minute.
Oh my god!
So Nick, what was that? What was that machine that we saw at SHOT Show?
That was a Swiss lathe. Like that's a crazy machine. It's also a big Swiss lathe with like a milling head in it. That's like a $200,000 machine.
Oh, dang!
It's very specialized. It's a usually you don't see the machine just like it was at SHOT Show. You would see that machine with like a 12-foot bar feeder next to it, and you come in Monday morning, turn that machine on, and don't touch it for like 5 days, and it'll pump out like thousands of screws for you.
Oh, that's convenient.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, it's a serious machine.
Yeah, I want to go to some of those shows like the IMTS and.
I'm definitely doing IMTS. I missed it twice. It just sucks that it's bi-yearly.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I haven't been to it, but I really want to go because it looks freaking awesome.
Is that the one in Chicago? Which one is that?
It's the one in Chicago, but did they do it this year? Did it pass already?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did it.
So that means it won't happen for another 2 years.
Oh, there you go.
That's the one.
Yeah, I really want to do that. Everyone tells me when they go, they say it's insane.
Yeah, I've seen YouTube videos.
It's like 4 buildings, and it's not like SHOT Show. It's actually categorized, so it's easier.
It's actually easy to navigate.
That's where you see the 10 and 20
things.
axis mills, right?
Yeah, it's where there was like there was like a steel bull this year that everyone kept posting pictures of, and it was like a completely 3D machined bull.
Yeah,
That's pretty neat.
That was super cool.
Mm-hmm. No, there's machines there that they freaking have entire cars like inside of. It's like there's machines that have hallway. There's one of the machines that were there this year had a hallway inside of the machine.
That's what you need.
The hallway accesses the electrical panel. I was like, what the hell? You're literally walking down a hallway in the side of this machine, and at the end of the hallway is an electrical panel.
That's nuts.
Man.
Yeah, that show definitely multi-million-dollar boots.
Are those like concept machines, or do companies actually use those?
No, that's people go there to buy that machine at the show and get delivered later. They inspect them there. Like, is this what I need? Cool. They see it in person, and then they place their orders. That's why that show costs millions of dollars, man. It's just to be on the main floor.
Yeah, for when you need to machine a car body out of a solid brick of aluminum.
That's right. T6 Volkswagen Beetle, no problem. Lots of 3D machining. It's all set.
Oh my god, my mom just got a Volkswagen Beetle instead of like the GTI. I'm so pissed.
Go with that GTI, dude. You need that speed. That's what you need.
GTI. She's like, I like the Beetle. I'm like, oh no.
Did she get it in standard anyway? Jeez.
I don't know. She's back in California.
The old school ones are pretty sweet.
Yeah, but those new Beetles, I hear they're like not reliable as hell.
Oh really? See? Damn.
What are those? Those must be running. What engine is that in there? It's like a little.
It's a hamster wheel.
Liter? Yeah, like I don't know what's in that.
Water cooled.
Water cooled hamster wheel.
The 2-cycle hamster wheel, basically. All right, I dig that.
Designed by Hitler.
That's right.
That's true. The people's car.
Speaking of shows, what do you got on the books for shows this year, Julian? You're doing
docket.
doing Blade Show. That's just the beginning of the show schedule for some of us.
Yeah, we got 7 more shows this year.
Dude, so like I'm gonna do Vegas, the Gathering, so I'll come and see you over at the shop for sure. Yeah, I'm just doing that one. I was thinking about going to the Kentucky one because a lot of these Colorado guys go there.
They're all there. It's an awesome show. It's fun. It's essentially 3 days of drinking, and then you work for 4 hours while drunk because it's at night. So all the makers are drunk.
Yeah, it's just a really quick little show. It sounds like a good time. Yeah.
And there may or may not be a fire drill.
May or may not.
Oh, I forgot about that fire drill.
Yeah, actually, I did until you just said that.
I was like in the middle of like a sale, like money on the table, and I'm like fire drill. I'm like, oh, I have to pack all this up.
I think it was the first.
What?
That had never happened before ever.
Yeah, so we were at the Kentucky show this past year, and then like basically in the middle of the show, like one of the high points, there was a fire drill. Like
somebody
fire
pulled a fire
alarms
alarm.
went off. And the entire show had to evacuate. But no one was going to leave like $1 million in knives sitting on the table. So all the knife makers were like scrambling around to like pick up their stuff.
Oh my God. So what happened? Did they resume the show afterwards or anything?
Yeah, they resumed the show after, but like...
It was like 30 minutes later. But...
It depends on what... It was like depending on who, but like... And I was in the middle of working with a dealer and the customer, cash on table, checks are being signed, products are laid out for each person. And then like I had to just put all the products in my box and the cash and the check, and I'm like I had to meet up with everybody after and figure this out. Yeah. It was a shit show when that happened.
But it's a fun show. It was my first year and I had a blast.
Yeah, I got Elijah Jeremiah to go to that. I went 2 years ago as my first year, and this past one because dealers got more known about it and other people start to know more about it. It's a whole different show. Like just compared to last year and this year, it was an entirely different show.
See, like I'm wondering how it'll be for Bally's, you know?
Well, if you're like the only person there, then you're gonna sell out very quickly.
You're gonna sell out. I'll put it this way: you're probably gonna sell out to just dealers.
I'll buy them.
None of those guys. Just none of those guys that I see at that show ever have balisongs.
Right.
Chuck is the only one. Chuck brings Bally's to that show, and that's pretty much it.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw anybody else there because I bought what Chuck had, and then
Chuck didn't bring them last year. This year he brought some balisongs.
Yeah,
I think it's like the smallest.
But half the guys there aren't even to buy knives. Half the guys there are the craft brew junkie guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun dichotomy. I liked that. Like I didn't even do that well at the show. I just had a great time. Like it was just fun.
I'd bring beer opening items, like your bottle openers. I'd bring that stuff there.
Yeah, that would actually probably do pretty well.
Half the guys are beer junkie guys.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's a very different
more
kind
of
of
a
show.
get together than a show.
Yeah, that's
right. So, what other shows are you guys looking out for? Those are the only two that are on
Blade
my
West.
roster.
All of them.
Yeah,
Blade
literally
West.
all of them.
California,
Blade
Vegas, Paris.
Northwest Handbuilt Invitational.
That's just you two.
That would be fun.
California was insane. Like this last time.
Yeah, California was a pretty crazy show. A Recon one, I gotta say, they did a great job with that.
Yeah, the lineup was wild. I want to go to that one next year, probably.
So on Friday they have like their own thing, and then on Saturday it's totally different because nobody from Friday shows up. Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Sinkovich and Rexford, guys like that really just do Friday night. So
a lot of those I don't know what you
heavy
call
hitters.
them. Yeah, heavy hitters like the upper 1% or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
Calm down.
like they show up for Friday and then they're out of there. I mean, they might be. Some of them might physically be there, but they don't have any product or knives.
The Friday night Blade Affair, I think is what it's called.
FBAF fulfilled by something. Are you gonna do Blade West again this year?
I don't know. I haven't really looked at it. I should. A lot of people are like, "Yo, come to Blade West again," and I'm like, "Oh yeah," but I don't know. I haven't looked at the timeline because if I do Blade and then Vegas and then when's Blade West?
Trust me, it's stupid.
It gets crazy.
Like, it's insane.
Well, no, Vegas and them are fine, but like, so how for Jeremiah and Elijah things are different, but me as a maker got to prep. So essentially, I'm flying to California. But I have to bring knives for 2 shows. So I'm flying to California for 5 days, and right from California, I'm flying to Portland for Blade West.
Yeah,
So
October 25th and 27th in California, and Blade Show West is November 1st and 3rd. So it's like
then I come home, and the New York Knife Show is the following week. Thankfully, it's in my hometown, so I don't have to travel.
Yeah, New York Custom Knife Show November 22nd and 23rd.
And then 10 days after that is I still have to do things and make knives for dealers and stuff like that. I still have to make more product within a week. But then 10 days after that is Kentucky. And then after that, I have a table, so I need a lot of product again. So like it's like 4 shows within a month in all different states.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
fun times.
It's crazy.
It sounds like tons of fun. It sounds like tons of fun for sure.
It's going to be tons of fun, like no sleep.
It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds great.
I mean,
every time I look at that schedule, I want to kill myself. I'm like,
it's different. It's different for Nick as a maker, and like
it's a one-man show.
It's literally my job to go, and Elijah. I mean, it is good. It's good. It's good to go to as many shows as possible. As a maker, you sort of have to pick and choose. You know, the shows that you like the best.
I'll tell you what, going to every show is definitely it's like very valuable because you start to understand and know how things run.
Right.
Yeah, like that's what I get out of it the most. Like just the knowledge of how things work.
Right.
Yeah, and to have those good times instead of just always working.
Well, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I just do them for vacations in reality this time.
Yeah. It's like you got to prep all year just for the shows, kind of, and then there's the people online that are like, "Yo, you don't make anything other than the shows? Like, what's the deal?" And pretty much, yeah.
I've always had this rule that I wanted to implement. It's been 6 years and I still haven't implemented it. It's like every 10th knife I make, I'll put aside for the show.
Every 10th
knife? Yeah.
Not a bad idea, actually.
No, it's a great idea.
Based on the shows I'm doing this year, it should be like every 4th or 5th knife I make.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
For this show, because now with this new schedule. Well, before this past year, I've only done Blade in New York and Kentucky. So now, like this year, it was Vegas, New York, Portland, California, Portland again, Vegas again, Kentucky, Georgia, and Paris.
You are doing the Northwest Handbuilt Invitational?
No, but we went to Portland twice. We're doing Portland. You guys are doing Portland 3 times this year. I'm doing Portland twice.
It's true. Yeah. As many
times
as possible.
Even if I'm leaving somewhere for not. Portland was work related. It wasn't the show, but I still have to make product to cover that week. I'm not at work, man. So I have to work double time the week prior.
I forgot we already went to Portland once this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Mhm.
But it's been 6
That
years,
happened.
and I still haven't implemented this rule. So
Yeah, I
there's
know.
always
You
next.
need
There's
to
always
get on
next
it,
year.
I had like 5 knives saved up for Blade Show, and I sold like all of them already.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the
that's
whole thing.
fine.
They have to go to the safe, and no one
That's
touches it. Usually 10 days before every show, I take a lot of energy drinks, and I don't sleep. Like I'll work 36-hour shifts and just sleep every other day, and then I'll be zombified the first day of the show, and then I'm fine the next following days.
That's crazy, dude. I can't handle all that. I gotta keep somewhat regularity, or else I'll go crazy.
That's what I'm trying to do now is keep regularity, but like Elijah and Jeremiah have seen me crank for a show. It's not a pretty sight. Things are going flying, cursors, shit's getting kicked around.
When we went to Kentucky, that's what happened. We were like all crashed on the floor, and you were just like tripping, like screaming all night.
Yeah, I don't think I saw.
Elijah was sleeping in the bedroom, Jeremiah's on the
spot.
couch, and I'm running between grinding room and CNC and workbench, and like they're going to bed, waking up. I'm still running back and forth. They're going to bed again. I'm still running back and
True
forth.
story.
You start managing it, but yeah, it's starting to wear down on me. It's not being young won't last forever. Being able to do that.
So, all right. So, Julian, what's your total Blade Show loadout? You said you wanted to bring 15 folders. How many? Geez, how many? I mean, you're bringing like a lot of knives.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna me and Joe are just cranking on these Monarchs right now. So we started.
So he works for you in the shop?
On Fridays, yeah. He comes over on Fridays. He has a full-time job and 2 kids. He has like a newborn daughter, so he's always taking care of the family.
Nobody needs those. That's the first.
Nobody needs them.
It's also about the job.
I know. He's like, man, I'm gonna try to quit as soon as possible. Hopefully after Blade Show. So we'll see.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we might get another machine together or something like that, and yeah, just try to keep growing the thing.
I mean, that's legit. I mean, especially if you have if the demand is there, build while it is available. Get it done.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking those 15 folders. I have this new version of my emissary that has some overlays that I'm still tweaking the design, but I hope to bring like 5 of those, but I might not bring any of them, but we'll see. And then Monarchs, we're gonna have like a good load of Monarchs to sell because those are seem like what people are really after right now. So
That's sick.
yeah. And then I'll have that collab with Brian Efros. He's a really cool Colorado maker, and yeah, we went axe throwing the other day for his birthday. It was
I saw that.
pretty awesome.
Everyone's together.
Yeah. And then that video went viral after of the girl throwing the axe and it bouncing back over her head.
Wait, was that what you guys?
No, that was
okay, I saw that. I was like,
Oh
wait,
wow.
what?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that. It was pretty crazy. I was surprised that they actually allow that.
I know.
It's like
yeah.
the insurance must be insane.
I'm sure you just sign a waiver.
I've done
that
it many
says
times.
that's
There's
it.
one by my house, but I've never seen anyone just throw it at the floor.
Yeah.
No, the instructor treats you like you're a child, and look, if you do any of the things I said don't do, you're just a dumbass. Or at least the instructor I usually get. She's like, if you do anything that I said not to do, you're a dumbass.
Yeah, with beers involved, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, they serve liquor there too. Well, they serve beer and wine, not like hard liquor, but still.
Yeah, they cut you off at 3 beers too, so.
Oh, okay. That makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
All
They
right.
don't cut you off where I'm at. I know that.
Yeah.
Hard liquor and no limit. Yay.
Like, here's the hatchet. Have a great time, guys. Like, whoa.
So are you gonna, Julian, you gonna be at the Blade Show Bally contest this year? You gonna check that out?
Definitely. I'm gonna be checking it out and hopefully seeing some of my Bally's in there,
For
yeah.
sure there will be.
I'm not gonna
actually- Yeah, I've never seen it. I'm probably gonna check it out this year. It seems to be pretty cool.
Oh, the Valley
I don't know
competition's
where
fun.
it's at. I know about it. It's a big thing, but I never actually see it anywhere.
Yeah, it's out outside in the parking lot, right, Jer?
It was a couple years ago. There's usually a good circle of guys right out front, and they're usually flipping there pretty much like all weekend. And then I think the actual Valley comp last year was I just saw Dave. I was hanging out with Dave outside the second room in that weird concourse area. That might have been where they had it. I think they had to technically have it outside the Galleria. I'm not. I don't remember exactly.
Have you
But
been
I
to
want-
it?
I know a lot of people don't like it, so that's
Yeah.
why I know they kept moving it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
I know
Most
somebody-
people in the actual knife community hate the Bally community.
I think it was
Yeah,
last year. Somebody sliced their hand open like big time.
It was a
It
kid.
happens.
Yeah.
It happens. You know. That's
There's the Balisong kid that comes by me, like butterfly flipper kid, something like that. I don't
Bally
he-
flipper.
Bally flipper kid.
Yeah. Isn't his
Something
name? No, his handle is like Bally flipper.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever. He's a young kid, but like he comes by my shop all the time. He's local, but he's like has like 6,000 followers. He's known in the community, and like he tells me at shows like everyone like looks at like everyone looks at them odd and like curses them out and tells them to get out of here. And he's like he was at Blade Show last year. And he's like a guy walked by and he said, "I swear to God, kid, if that hits me, I'm gonna fuck you up." I'm like, okay.
Oh man, yeah.
Sounds a lot like skating. Like they don't want skateboarders to be in
Yeah,
like,
that's
areas.
why it's
Yeah.
it's ridiculous that people are like that. Yeah, it's the same community. It's a knife. A knife is a knife is a knife. You know.
I agree,
really.
man. Like it's just this weird divide right now, but I think it's merging slowly because Bally's are awesome, man. I used to only be about folders, and I had this dream to make a folder eventually, and then when it came down to it, I started playing with both of them, and it's like, yo, I want to make a Bally.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to give Lucas credit where it's due, man. Like, the Squid got that rolling really hardcore last year at Blade. Like, kids and
heard-
guys were walking around everywhere. I mean, you saw it in Portland too. Same thing. Like, there's just a huge crew around Lucas at the shows.
Yeah,
You know.
dude, he just sent me like 200 blades that I have to put chamfers on. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh damn!
What do you have
All
to put
right.
chamfers on? What the hell?
I'm just gonna put chamfers on some blades for him, like just the spine, so that they're like kind of crowned, you know?
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just a little job for him, and it's like 200 of them. I'm like, oh man, that's gonna be boring as hell. But-
It's not an amazingly interesting op. That's for sure.
Just set her up in the mill. Get a corner around her.
Yeah, I know. But I'm used to making like a couple of one thing and a couple of another thing, you know, and like making it sort of from one to the other. But so this whole production idea is crazy. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh, it's the first time you've done runs like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. It gets boring. Like I just did a 300-piece scalpel run for someone, and yeah, I do job shop work now. I don't do as much job shop work as I used to, but usually a job's like 200 or 300 pieces or something, and it's like you get the parts in from mortgage or whatever. It's like, oh, that's way more than I expected. It's always way more.
Yeah.
And you start doing it halfway through, you get bored. But then like when you're at the last 20 out of 300, like you look at the table. And there's a shit ton of product, and it's pretty rewarding once you're done.
If I had like another machine that I could run, you know, my own stuff on, then that would be cool. I could just have them running, but it's like that would like this is gonna take like 3 days or something, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just always being at the machine, so we'll see.
Just cranking it and crushing it, man.
Yup. Exactly.
That's how
Yeah, the
it's
nice thing
done.
with the job shop work that's not your shop stuff, something like that, where you just keep doing the same thing over and over again. If you really wanted to, you could just work in late, like extended shift, and like just get it done and get paid.
Yeah.
There's a nice part about that kind of stuff. Like when it's like, okay, this is a job shop thing. It's not a product for me. It's for someone else. But there's a lot of them. It's repeatable, and I'll just work stupid shifts and get it done.
Yeah, just like watch a movie while you're pressing the button.
Oh, dude, I got 2 TVs here at the shop.
That's the way to do it.
I got one in the bedroom area, and I got one right by the house. I guess I'm working overnight tonight, but like I don't want to do handwork if I'm doing an overnight shift. I'll just run the house and watch Netflix.
Yeah. Tricks of the trade, huh?
I'm telling you, that's custom as
shop
hell.
TVs are a must.
Shop TVs and shop whiskey.
The
Yeah.
whiskey's that's a standard every shop.
Gotta have it.
You're
And
going.
tons.
If you're not doing whiskey in the tub, you're not doing Vegas right.
That's right. Somebody said that one time. I think so. Nick, that's you, dude.
I know. I started laughing. I was like, huh?
Yes, dude.
Yeah, bro, that's you. Oh man, that's good.
Someone brought that up to
I
me
think-
also like a week ago.
That video?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty funny, man. You're like barefoot in a tub. Like,
Well, I thought it was on the
Scott.
story. One of you two posted it, and so
Not me. Elijah did.
someone DM'd it to me a week ago. It's like, what is
you
that
It's
seen
on my
it,
personal
man?
Instagram. It's posted to my personal Instagram.
personal one? How's that?
Nick doesn't even know.
Doesn't even know.
I haven't even seen that one. Yeah, I gotta check that out.
There will later. You check it out. You'll see Nick in a bathtub
It's a
drinking
modest
whiskey.
shout out.
Unless you want to see that.
Hey, so what's the prospectus of this podcast, you guys? Like, how's it all going? Like,
I don't know. It's fun to do, and I mean, it's a good excuse to like hang out with people and talk trash. So you know, and it's good for everybody involved, kind of thing, to open up the eyes to new makers or just perspectives.
Yeah, we're not talking about the knives that are out now. We just want to talk to makers and see how their stories and how they started. Because I, as a maker, I still find that interesting. When I go to shows, it's the first thing I think, like, what got you into knives? Because you talk to anyone who's not into knives, and it's always like, wait, what the hell do you do?
Yeah,
Is that a real profession?
Yeah.
Well, I do it. I guess it's real.
Yeah, man. It gets rough if you're not doing something you love, for sure. Are you guys you guys don't have jobs or anything, do you? Other than, I know, Jeremiah, you work at the shop, but.
No, dude, I've been full-time
Yeah,
maker
this is
for
our job.
5-6 years.
Wow, nice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's
Elijah's
it.
also technically full-time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Full-time CAD man.
Sweet.
Yeah, I did it 3 years while I was in school, and then I was like, let's give it a try, and it's been 5 to 6 full-time.
Hell yeah. So did you go to school for something related as well?
No, I started this when I was in high school, I think, like 10th grade.
Wow.
I did it as a hobby, and then, like, my first year in college, I was like I just didn't want to learn. I spent all my time like learning how to do stuff with my hands. That's what I did. Like, I just wanted to work with my hands, so I was pretty much researching knives and how to build knives. Read everything. Like, in school, I was reading every single USN forum and how to make my knives better.
Yeah.
When the USN was a bigger thing, like before Instagram, there was a lot of info on the USN, like a lot. And I went through every page I could find. Anything that I didn't read, I tried to find just any info.
Right.
7 ways how to set a lock, just see how people did it, and then tried all those methods.
Yeah.
I ground about 100 knives before I finished one. Just all the different methods. I was just trying them out.
Wow, dude. Yeah, I had like a pry bar that I made into a knife. I just put a knife blade on the end of it, or a bunch of different blade shapes, and I probably made 100 of those, and I just sold them all. It was nice.
It's that EDC, man. It's serious business.
It is.
Now, wait, you joined when Instagram was already a thing, right? So you just post on Instagram?
Yeah, I started my thing in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been like 3 or 4 years.
Because I was thinking about that recently. I was trying to remember how I got my first sales. Because I was before the age of Instagram. And it was just USN and Blade forums in the New York.
Instagram.
Yeah, the New York Knife Show. So I was thinking about it recently. I was like, how did I get my first sales? And I just I don't remember. It's been 10 years. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't remember how I sold my first knives. Like, I don't remember, like, I didn't have a page on USN because it was like $600 a year, and I was like 15 years old and I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember my first customer was a local knife collector, and so was my second. But I don't remember a sale like 3 to 10. And then after about 15 folders, Instagram came out, and that took off for me. But like the first like 20 fixed blades I made, I don't remember who the hell I sold them to, and I just remember my first like 3 folder sales. But besides that, I don't remember how people sold knives besides the forums before.
Yeah.
Shows.
Yeah. Mostly shows and USN, I guess.
Yeah, but I only did the New York show, so people met me there at the New York show, and then USN. But it's still USN. If you didn't have your own page, you didn't really have somewhere to sell and post your stuff. If it was like your own work.
Yeah.
USN. There's always you gotta pay dues. I mean, like, actually financially pay dues to be able to sell shit on there. So that's like
that's if you had that account, you could sell knives and buy knives. But like if it was a knife you made yourself, you couldn't really sell it with that account. You had to have a page.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought that fee covered any sales of your own stuff. That was just a reseller sale?
There was a different fee for knife makers.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
I never understood it myself.
I looked into that when I was doing Knuckles.
USN was a whole thing. It was a forum. So if you were into the age of forums, and I was a car forums back then, and computers. There's still a lot of computer work and car work, and even before I had a car. But the forums was a little easy for me to figure out because I was on multiple ones. But it was still a whole thing to navigate through.
Does anybody still keep up with USN anymore? Really?
I got on yesterday actually on the USN
Really?
forums, and the same few guys that were known in the community, on the Steel Dust Junkies forum, who answered mostly all the questions, they're still there answering all the questions.
Huh.
And I've been on USN 5 years, and Don Hansen, probably the Fixed Blade Kitchen guy, there's two other guys I'm blanking right now, but I was on there the other day. The info is not the same. The info, people asking questions aren't the same people. It's the casuals who saw YouTube videos, I want to make a knife in my garage, this and that. Back then, it was knife makers talking to other makers, and people who are trying to actually become a knife maker would ask questions there. Now it's what's the difference between an S30V and M390 and stuff like that.
So Jersey Devil, that was kind of.
I never got on there. That was balisongs.
I did for a second. And then Blade forums and then USN, but yeah, I never liked the forum format.
Yeah, I'm kind of dyslexic. I can't really read that well, so
I never just understood it, how you search stuff and then like feeds, and I just didn't get it.
That's why I like Jersey Devils for that, and then also Jersey Devils, I guess because of the name. But I went to their get-togethers because they're by me.
Yeah.
But I would miss most of them because I guess the name, my email always count their emails as spam. So I'd miss all their notifications for get-togethers and shit all the time.
Yeah, they're definitely. I think Jersey Devil. There was a pretty large flipping community on there. A lot of guys got on there, especially early on. I know I talked to Les Voorhees about that, and he was huge presence on the early days of Jersey Devil. And Matt too. Those guys, obviously. Forums are definitely I don't know. Yeah, it was more of a necessity than it perhaps is now. Not that it's obsolete. It probably would have taken already being addicted to something like that to continue. I think that Instagram and Facebook have just made things a lot easier to consume and to go over and find what you're looking for, and also to contribute pretty much anything, pictures or content or advice. It's an easy platform to have on your phone opposed to having Tapatalk or whatever that app is that translates forums, which is I find to be terrible. It's really hard to use.
Yeah, I tried to use that for 2 seconds and was screw this. The same.
Yeah, nah. Reddit is. Yeah, Julian, are you active on the Balisong Reddit page? There's a lot of people on there.
I'm not. No.
That's another one of those things where it's you have to commit just like Instagram. All right, here's 3 hours of my day right there. But there's a lot of
Are you
people
still on it? Because me and you both tried to get on it. I got on there a little bit, but then I was just so much stuff going on, and once again, it's mostly kids, so it's a lot of
I need to get back on there.
Conversations I didn't want to initiate.
When Kyle and I were doing the serpent drop, I was on there once a day, and then I was following up with people about their thoughts on the serpent, and I kind of it's just there's only so much time, so sort of after that I tuned out a little bit, but I do need to get back on there. Because it was cool to talk with people and see their thoughts on the serpent and sort of what they thought and how it handled and the afterthoughts of it.
Yeah, it's all with the balisongs. It's all about how they perform,
And people are more than willing to give you every little bit of advice or their thoughts on the knife for sure.
No doubt. Yeah, there's some really picky people in the community, and they keep you on your feet for sure.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta sort of, you gotta listen. You gotta figure out how much to filter and how much to listen to, because you're never gonna make everybody happy. Just like everything else, there's always gonna be somebody who wants it a little heavier, a little lighter, But
that's what she said.
Yeah. But some critical perspectives are important and good to listen to. Especially from some of the more experienced guys, the guys that have thousands and thousands of hours in flipping. Sometimes the things they say are definitely harken a little more weight.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm kind of interested in Facebook more, because people seem to even in the Bali community, it seems like people take their time to make a good review or, really, really get to the nitty gritty of a knife. So
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it'll be so much fun at Blade Show this year. I'm sure you have a bunch of people, have you show around, but we'll be kicking around for sure, and it'd be good to catch up because, man, Blade Show's it is overwhelming, but especially for valleys or for whatever, man. There's so much feedback and so much cool conversations to be had there with customers and collectors and and other makers as well, obviously. Julian, is there anything we haven't talked about that you wanted to talk about?
Any new shit in the plans? What folder are you making for the show?
Yeah, we got through the most of it, I'd say. Yeah, I'm just gonna be ready to knock out these 2 shows, and me and my buddy Joe are hopefully gonna be working together more and just trying to grow things. I kind of want to start hiring people and maybe get a little warehouse or something. That'd be really cool. It's just kind of rough. Like, Nick, I'm sure like when there's no one around, it's like you're just working constantly.
Oh, dude, I'm on the phone with other knife makers 3/4 of my workday.
Right?
If I'm not grinding up blade, I'm on the phone with someone. If you want to grind the blade, I'm not on the phone with anybody.
Yeah.
But
like,
you guys lonely. You probably have windows. I don't even have windows in my shop, so like I'll go in here in the morning and I'll come outside for a breather and like the sun's down. And I'm like, fuck, it's been the whole day.
Yeah, man. So that's like the roughest part for me. Like I don't know. I've never been the most social dude, but it's like, well, now that there's no one around, it's like, oh damn, I need to like get something going where there's like a community warehouse or something. That'd be really cool. So
Sure, I have like space for like 7 more Haas mini mills in here.
Exactly. That'd be real cool.
Pack them in there. Get those machines cranking.
Yeah.
Good times, man. Good times. All right. Well, Julian, tell the fine folks at home all the pertinent details. Where can we find you on the internet?
All right. So my main platform is Instagram at JK2_design. Yeah, that's where I mainly, I'm active on DMs for the most part. Unless I get overwhelmed, then I might take a little time off. But DMs are really good. I got my email on my Instagram. I'm trying to grow my Facebook group, which is just JK Gear Group. It's a closed group. If you want to join, I'll add you for sure. Lottery details are all on jkdesign.us. So that's about it for now. Other than that, I'll see you at Blade in Vegas. That's if you really want some, that's where you're gonna get it.
Right on.
Come to Blade, everybody.
Yeah, come see Julian. Check out his awesome stuff, man. Awesome knives, good gear, good people, good times.
Good times. Yeah. All right. Look forward to seeing all of you guys there too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's gonna be a blast. Right on. Thanks so much for coming on. We're gonna wrap up another awesome episode of Bladeology here, and I'll start with Jeremiah out.
Nick Trooper out.
Elijah out.
JK out. Thanks, you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming
on.
Thank
you, man.
No doubt.
This is Nick Trooperin, and you can find me at NCC Knives at Instagram, nccknives.com, and nccKnives at yahoo.com.
This is Elijah Isham. You can find me on my Instagram at Isham Bladeworks, and on my personal Instagram at...
This is Jeremiah Burbank. You can find me on Instagram at my day job at pvk.vegas, and my personal Instagram, pvkjer. Also on the Instagram.